Alrighty, y'all. So, welcome back. Today we're going to go ahead and get into our heavy leg day. So we're going to go ahead and start off getting the glutes warmed up with glute kickbacks. I'm going to start out here just 20 pounds. Nothing too wild. We'll probably go up to 30s, maybe 40 pounds for a top set. We'll see. We're just trying to get a little blood into them. Nothing crazy. Just get the hips warmed up and ready to deal with having some weight put on. But nice easy set of 12. Slow, controlled, nothing wild. But today, since I kind of talked about, how the training's going to work, some health stuff we're working through already, and the diet changes. We've already pretty sure went over that, but we're going to go over my exact diet and the supplements we're going to take going into this next little training block here of a little cutting phase, trying to drop some weight, see if the body will respond to it or what's going on there with the whole health stuff and the body weight fluctuating and all of that. But what we're going to do, our diet is just about 1,800 calories. Then we've got about 100 calories or so from supplements. So we're going to be right about 1,900 calories. Our breakfast, or should I say, first kind of thing we're going to consume in the morning, instead of doing protein coffee and stuff, we're going to start taking a GoBHB supplement, which is kind of energy based, a little along the like ketone type of line of things. So it's not packed full of caffeine. But it is like 40-ish calories. So it will break fast, but it also has a bunch of essential minerals and stuff in it. But GoBHB has been shown to increase performance, increase output, increase recovery, increase some cognitive function, as well as it has shown some ability to help prevent brain damage from like concussions and stuff like that. So if you're an athlete, very, very good supplement to be taking. I'm going to be consuming 5 grams of GoBHB a day. The clinical dosage is at like 10, but I just can't afford to be consuming it at that rate. But it's something new I'm trying. I've never tried it. Today, first day taking it. So here in a few days, we'll see if I can notice any real effects from it. But then, along with that, we're going to take fish oil in the morning, 3.5 grams there. Then we're going to have a multivitamin from Mytofulti. So that's got all of your good stuff in it. Along with that, we're going to be taking an L-arginine for heart health. That's 1,000 milligrams in the morning, lunch, and evening. The fish oil is morning and evening. And then along with that, we're going to be taking a beta-alanine supplement. It's going to be 2.7-ish grams, 3 times daily, just like the L-arginine, morning, lunch, and dinner. All to just kind of help with heart health and performance and blood flow. You know, as we do get older, we want to make sure that we're keeping our heart as healthy as we can. And, you know, when you are putting yourself under big loads and you're holding your breath and everything, you are taxing your cardiovascular system. And you're going to be increasing that blood pressure when you're bracing your core to lift heavy. So you want to make sure that those systems have a little assistance in being healthy and efficient. So that's the reason for that supplementation. And then along with that, at nighttime, we're going to also have a zinc plus copper supplement, which is 50 milligrams there of zinc and 2 milligrams of copper. So when you're adding zinc in on top of your multivitamin, you definitely want to have something that's got copper added to it. The reason why is because as zinc kind of breaks down and synthesizes and does its job, or the body's using it to do its job, you're also going to be depleting yourself of copper at the same time. So it's kind of one of those things that needs this plus this to work together. So I'm taking that because I started taking that 3 years ago when I found out that I have extremely low testosterone. And it did get it to come up a little bit, but not enough to like percentage wise, it's massive. But on the scale and the way I feel in the performance from it, not very effective. But a little higher is still better than not higher. So I still take it. So that's going to be supplementation that we're on while we do this. Then going into and creatine. So we got creatine. We have 5 grams of that daily. BCAAs, still currently taking, might stop taking those just to offset the cost of the BHB. And then we have our pre-workout, which we take. So, because I need that caffeine. But that does it for the supplementation. There's no anything else. There's no peptides, there's no steroids, there's no SARMs, none of that stuff. So, if you can't order it on Amazon, I ain't getting it. But with that, we get into the food. First meal of the day, 8 ounces, 93% lean ground beef. Quarter cup dry white rice with 4 ounces of mixed veggies. Ugh. So I wake up 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm going to be having that BHB around 8:30, 9-ish. My first meal, I eat basically around 11:30. My second meal is a pound of chicken thighs with a half a cup of white rice, and I make my own black pepper sauce for it. Um, the first meal works out to just under 600 calories. It's like 580 something. My second meal, it's 560 something calories. I think I'd have to double check the numbers, but it's somewhere around there. And I have that basically around 2:30 as like a pre-workout type of meal. Then I come work out around 3:30ish after I've had some time for it to kind of digest and start breaking down and be bioavailable. Not that it matters much in the grand scheme of things, but I do notice a difference in my performance if I've gotten to eat or not before I work out. Woo! But then, my third meal is just my first meal repeated. So another 8 ounces of ground beef, quarter cup dry white rice, so half cup cooked, then another 4 ounces of mixed veggies, and that does it on the solid food intake portion. If I have a day where I'm just insatiably hungry, when it's time to go to bed, like where I'm starting to get some crazy munchies and I'm just going to break down and whatnot, I've got Rise Loaded Protein Powder. I'll take a scoop of that, I'll mix it with some water. Right now I've got the blueberry muffin flavor. Freaking delicious. It curbs that sugar craving because it literally tastes like I'm just eating like blueberry muffin batter. It's bomb. It's 120 calories, but get an extra 25 grams of protein, so I'm not going to sweat that. Currently, I've been kind of averaging about 6,000 steps a day as kind of like my baseline. We're going to start working on pushing that up. I want to get to 8 over the next week or two, and then start trying to get to 10K a day as just a flat baseline after that. Every day, no matter what, not just on my non-lifting days. But, be right back. All right, now we're going to go ahead and move into getting some squats in, which is our heavy compound lift for today. Just starting off here, 95 pounds. We're going to work our way up, see where we get to. Maybe we can shoot for that 275 again today. We'll see. I think I actually tried for 285 last week and we failed, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what I tried for. But let's see where we get to today. So we want nice, clean, deep reps. Try to get that full range of motion, especially at these lighter weights. We definitely don't want to be only squatting to parallel when it's light. As it gets heavier, parallel's not the worst thing. You're still getting deep enough to where you're activating everything you need to. You're just kind of, that's at the point to where if you could get below parallel, great. If you're getting too parallel, then, but it's uncomfortable to go below it, you're just kind of avoiding injury for the most part. That's why in competition, you've just got to get to parallel. You're just basically, you got to get the hips slightly below the knees and your squats counting. So a lot of that I think pertains to injury prevention over actual strength. So another thing is too, we got us a new pair of shoes yesterday. Another pair of Brooks, but I went with a more of a walker versus like a jogger slash runner type of shoes. So I went with their Beast GTS 24s. Has a slightly higher heel in it. It's a 12 millimeter drop, so from the heel to the toes. So it has a little more of a wedge in it. Should help actually some with my ankle mobility when it comes to squats. That's why people like to squat up on plates. It's just to help with that. A big person to notice who does that, Sam Sulek. He squats like feet together up on plates, which is a wild squat stance, but extremely quad targeted. I'm trying to bring a little bit of hamstrings and glutes into it, but that's because I just can't squat that heavy. That guy's a freaking monster. But easy peasy. 185 up next. Nice. That feels good. I don't want to do too many here at 225 and wear myself out before trying to jump up. So that felt pretty good. I think we shoot for a 285 attempt again. So I know it's 60 pounds up from this. Just I kind of feel like working more in that 90 per like 1 rep maxes range, somewhere around that 90-95% effort. And I think that should be where that is. I'm pretty sure we can do that today and not fail it. So let me get set up for it. Woo! Holy cow, I am lightheaded. Little dots everywhere. I kind of just started to get a crazy head rush as I was going down with that. So I wanted to make sure I pressed that back up quickly. The drive up felt okay, but whew, boy, oh boy. I can't wait for that to start to go away again. Because this freaking lightheadedness stuff sucks. But it'll get figured out. Hopefully I hit depth. So I've got to look at that. But with that, I'll get set up for the next thing, and we'll go from there. All right, so that kind of takes care of the heavy part of legs today. So we hit the glutes. Now we're going to go ahead, then we hit squats for quads and hamstrings under a super heavy load. They're very noodly feeling, even with just a single rep at 225 and then 285. That's definitely between that 90-95% one rep max type of range. Next week, our next heavy leg day, we'll shoot for a 290 squat. And I'll try to get a little deeper if I don't get so lightheaded so quickly. But I am very afraid of, blacking out with nearly 300 pounds on my back. It does not sound like a good time since I work out, obviously, no spotter or anything like that. But now we're going to go ahead and move into some traps. We're going to hit a bunch of shrugs. Then we're going to do some curls. And then we're going to finish back off with leg extensions. So really just hammer down the quads now that they're pretty fatigued and tired. Now I just want to pump a bunch of blood into them to finish them off. So, but first, some shrugs. Nice easy set of 135 first. We'll go ahead and we'll go 185. Then we'll probably end up doing 225. What? This basically is still going to be our training methodology for definitely quite a while still. I'm enjoying this heavy, light type of split. And we're not completely just pounding the daylights out of a specific muscle every single time. It's here's 2 or 3 exercises for the focus of the day. And then here's 2 or 3 muscle groups for a movement to fatigue. And then we're moving on. So the recovery has seemed to be so much better because everything's just not beat down so far that it just really takes 3 or 4 days for it to recover. It takes a day, day and a half, and it feels nice and fresh and ready to roll. And then I'm hitting it again. So I've really enjoyed that because I don't end up with that feeling of like, oh man, like it's so tender to hit this again right now. That none of my exercises have been suffering specifically from that. But there are some days where I just don't feel recovered. But for the most part, this split has changed quite a bit in the way my training feels and how I'm able to push it, even with the crazy fatigue issues and the crazy lightheaded problems and the energy levels just being in the toilet and everything else that we're trying to get worked out with our doctor. But it has been able to keep me going. And strength-wise, we're kind of maintaining, gaining a little bit in some spots. Others, it's sunken a little bit, but it is what it is. But as long as, we're not sliding downhill, we're just kind of spinning our tires in one spot at the moment, I'll take it because we've got some things we're working on. All right. Let's go ahead and hit one facing the camera, shall we? So I went ahead and tossed another 25 on here. So that makes 235 on the bar here for these shrugs. Woo! Those are heavy, tell you what. But the traps definitely have quite a big pump going. So this one actually feels larger than this one. But hey, is what it is. Probably may or may not have an imbalance there, or it could just be one's tighter than the other, or one lat's tighter than the other, holding the shoulder funny. All of the above could also be a possibility. But with that, let me go ahead. We'll move over to the dumbbells. We'll hit us some curls. Last set of curls, we got up to 50s, and we hit it for 5 clean reps, and then 2 swung up eccentric type of reps, negatives. So let's see if we could go ahead and work back up to that. Maybe today get 6 reps with 2 negatives. That'd be pretty cool. So let me get you guys turned around here. Man, I tell you what, my legs feel tore up. But we start out nice and light here, 15 pounds, just to start moving the joint. Make sure our little biceps, forearm muscles don't, lose themselves with going up in weight here. I can tell you today that the pump feels quite a bit more noticeable per se. So I don't know if that's a diet's coming back in check thing, or it's a go BHB already. Don't know if it would have that type of effect yet, with this being the first day of taking it, but hey, don't know. I don't really know how quickly the effects of that happen, but today's feeling pretty decent, other than just the lack of drive and energy. Woo! All right, got the 50s. So goal is 5 or more. Gotta try to do the same, if not better, than last time. Ugh. God, 50s are hard. But got the same. Pretty sure. I gotta go back and count. Pretty sure we did 5. Might have been 6, but I'm not sure. sometimes I lose count. These heavy sets, you know, you just kind of, nobody's home. So, but I'll get these put away and we'll go ahead and get to leg extensions so we can get out of here. All right, so we're thinking here 1, maybe 2 sets. Just enough to get a really good pump going in the quads and feel that fatigue. Ugh. 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 Fucking burns. Ugh. 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 Ah. That's all she wrote. Holy crap. Well, guys, with that, that's going to be a compound leg day today. Feel tore up, but got a crazy sweat. So that's kind of nice. I haven't had a really hardcore crazy sweat in a while. So either I worked a little bit faster today or everything's just starting to work a little bit better again for the first time in a long time. Not much has changed, but we'll take it if we're going to have a good day. So not going to complain one bit about it. So with that, make sure y'all are working toward your goals, getting your stuff done. Most of all, just don't be a lazy fuck.